What is up, everyone? I am Joe DeHoyos. I'm host of Beyond the Woodline. Real quick before we get started, um, for those of you guys who don't know, I am the executive director of the JRG, which stands for the Jevning Research Group. It's headed up and founded by Mr. William Jevning. He's been in the Bigfoot field for, man, over 50 years at this point. He was friends with Renee DeHenden and John Green, who were the two guys that are considered the pioneers of Bigfoot research. Um, he knew him since he was a teenager, so he's got a lot of experience. Um, if you're interested in joining the team, we've got teams in New York State, Oklahoma, Ohio, Florida, Maine, of course here in Texas where I'm at, New Mexico, California, Oregon, Louisiana, and I always forget a couple of other states. If you guys are interested in joining the team, shoot me an email beyond.woodline@gmail.com. We'll get you guys started. Um, we do vet you. We do vet anyone we set you up with. Um, but we always ask you to check out who you go out with. Unfortunately, there's crazy people in this world. You got to watch out, right? But we'll help you take care of yourself too. And if you're in a state where you have a team and you just want to create your own team, go ahead. And if you're in a state that we don't have a team, and feel free to start your own team there. And yeah, we'll get you guys started. And also, go check out Steffi's Creations. I'm going to put her link in the description. She makes REM pods and spirit boxes. She's got some great paranormal equipment. She doesn't sponsor the show. She doesn't give me any kickbacks. She's just a great person, makes great product. I highly recommend it. Um, and if you use discount code Woodline, she'll give you 15% off. Cool. So there you go. And like again, I don't get anything from it. So she's just a great person. So with all that being said, I know you guys don't tune in to hear me ramble on all night. I have with me Matt from Dynasty Paranormal. How are you doing today, sir?
Good. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Thanks a lot for joining the show. I do appreciate it. Man, I was having some issues, but I think they got a lot of new features here that I'm trying to learn. So I think that was probably part of the issue. But yeah, man, thanks a lot for doing the show. I do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate the invite.
Yeah. Um, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you started into this crazy field.
Like I said, my name is Matt. I'm actually active duty Navy. I got into this field by around 2015. Really, I started watching the show Ghost Hunters. I know it's nothing scary ever happened to me. It's not the craziest story in the world. Just got into watching that show, and one day I woke up and literally said, "I love watching it. I want to do it." And I started in 2015 doing it, and I've been doing it since. I love it. I did take a little break, but I'm back starting again. Past October, I got started back up. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. You know, in your bio, it says you've been doing this for 10 years, but you're still learning. And I like that. I like that, you know, that you put that out there, that you're still learning. Because sometimes in this field, and even like in the Bigfoot field, someone who's been doing it for 2 years, they know everything, right? So, I'm really glad to see that you put that out there that, hey, I'm still learning because I'm still learning too. I've been doing the Bigfoot stuff, 13 years going on and I don't know shit. you know?
I, I always think if you're never trying to learn more and get better, if you think you're an expert, you're gonna close yourself off. And I just I'm never gonna act like I know everything. I always want to keep getting better, learning more, and I just
Yeah.
think you become better in the field that you're doing if you're always trying to learn and get better.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's when you're open to learning, you know, you're open to you open yourself up to a lot more opportunities. I think too. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. So when you started doing this, I mean, what was like some of your earliest investigations, and where was that at?
I was back in Delaware is when I first started. I was a part of a team, but actually, my first ever investigation was a person's personal house. We did a lot of personal houses back in Delaware, um, but the biggest investigation I did out there was Penhurst.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yep. So Penhurst, and then he would help run the ghost tours at called Fort Delaware,
Okay.
Patch Island, old Civil War fort. So There's a little bit of that, and a lot of personal houses, which is a lot of you know going in helping somebody.
Yeah,
Me is more sad. Like I like going to big places, but helping someone who has questions or needs answers because they don't really know what's going on, trying to help them to me, makes me feel better than just
right.
like everyone loves going to big places that are haunted, but more personal touch I enjoy.
Yeah, and I think that I would agree with you on that because I think sometimes these bigger places, I think people can bring in their own energy and then leave it behind also, and you never really know uh, if you've got something actually going on or it's just something from someone else, that they left behind. Especially when you have so many people. There's a place here in Texas. It's called, Goatman's Bridge. I don't know if you ever heard of it. And there's been a lot of theories on whether or not the place was at one time ever actually haunted. And the theory is now that so many people have investigated that, and they've probably brought their own spirits and their own energy there, or they've probably invited other things there. Because people go there and they play with the Ouija board, or even just talking out loud and doing EVP sessions. You're probably inviting other spirits there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a cool place to visit now because I think there's definitely activity there. But the legend of the Goat Man, I don't. There seems to be a lot of speculation on whether or not it ever actually existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And too, it's like, they always talk about how, it always takes a lot of energy for spirits to even do anything.
Right.
When it comes to, touching devices or giving EVPs.
Mhm.
Then you think like a lot of these big places, there's groups there like almost every day,
Yeah.
like investigating. And like I made a joke about it, like, in one of my like little cat cut videos I made, like the spirits, like the 8,000th time they're asking, like, tell me your name. And it's like the spirits is like, yo, leave me alone. It's just,
Yeah.
people wonder why they go places and get nothing. Like, because these places they never stop resting. Every
Yeah.
day, someone's there in there where they are at all the time, asking them a simple "What's your name?" 5,000 times.
Yeah. Or yeah, touch this and touch that and come over here, and it's fun, and I totally get it. And people want to interact, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm not knocking that at all because hell, I've done it too.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
have you ever gone through cemeteries?
No,
No.
I know people who have. That's one
Yeah.
thing I haven't done yet.
Yeah. Are you against it, or is this just something you haven't done yet?
No, honestly, I mean, it's not something I'm ever doing in the wintertime because it's freezing, but, I mean,
Mhm.
it's something, no, like, I'm not opposed to it, but I also think to myself, like, it's kinda I don't know. If I'm a I don't know, man, it's tough. Like, if I have a loved one who's buried there, and I'm there visiting a loved one, and you see some random person just walk around with a loud, like, spirit box going off, it's like it's tough, I'm not against it, and
Yeah.
I'm not against anyone who does it, but for me, it's kinda I don't know.
Yeah.
I can see it both ways why people would be, like, against it or not or for it.
I like going to like older cemeteries.
Mhm.
Places that I know that no one's coming to visit. Or there's no like fresh graves. I
Yeah.
like going to a lot of those type of like people from like the 1800s and even earlier than that. Who don't get visitors.
Yeah.
Because if they're there, they might not mind you stopping by and saying hi or wanting to communicate with you.
Yeah.
But there's I've been to places where I've seen like freshly covered up graves, and I'm like, we don't mess with that. Just yeah, that's kind of strange. Like I would
No,
never do
yeah.
that. But yeah, there are some cemeteries here in Texas, and that people go to, and they're like very old, Civil War or even pre-Civil War, and I don't mind going to those places, and checking them out. And
Yeah.
the way I see it is that, like I said, nobody comes to visit them anyway. So if they want to interact with you, they will.
Yeah.
And I guess that
Maybe
goes for any spirit, really.
maybe they enjoy maybe the older ones who get no more visitors,
Yeah,
they enjoy someone coming around trying to talk to them.
yeah, yeah. So have you ever been scared?
Uh, Yeah, 2 weeks ago, actually.
Really? What happened
Um,
with that?
we were at what's old jail out here in Indiana, and I was with 3 other people. We are in the room where we were gonna sleep at, and I was sitting on the couch. They were all sitting on their cots. We were just talking, and the door was shut, but it was like in the way where you could still slam it, like all the way shut. Like it
Yeah.
was shut, but not like really secure, right?
Right.
We are just sitting there. All of a sudden, you hear a loud. The door just goes. Oh my! It's scared the shit out of me, man. Oh my goodness! It was so loud, and I think that's the first time that I actually was like,
Yeah.
Get my blanket and cover up, man." It was crazy. Old Blackford County Jail, that's what it's called.
Yeah. Kyle said yes, he has.
Yep, that was
Yeah.
scary, but not a lot. It's so weird too because like I get nervous and anxious. Like I want something to happen, but
Right.
then when
Yeah.
it does, I'm like, "Good Lord, please don't hurt me."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So let's see. Jamie says Matt wants a chair
I
thrown at.
do. That's my life goal is get a chair thrown at me.
Okay. All right. I thought that was
I probably would pee myself a little bit if it ever did happen, but
yeah.
it would be cool.
What was your favorite place to investigate?
So far, I would say Pinhurst,
Okay.
just because honestly, Pinhurst wasn't the most active place I've ever been to. Um, but I don't look at it as also like I look at the history of places,
Hmm.
and even though I got like no activity when I went to Pinhurst, um, the nostalgia of going to a place like that makes it by far the best place I've gone to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like places like that where you can like kind of like feel the history of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are pretty cool places to check out. Um, what about equipment? What's some of your favorite pieces of equipment to use?
My favorite equipment is a REM pod, and I just got a new tripwire that has like it's the one that have like 12 pieces to it, the different colors. Starts
Okay.
out purple, not the one that's straight, but like it's a piece together. I
Okay.
forget what it's called, what kind of one it is. So those are my two favorite, um, and my digital recorder because 9 times out of 10, the most evidence I get is from my digital recorder.
Yeah.
Amazing, awesome EVPs.
Mhm.
Go to
What's some of your
places.
cooler
Hmm?
EVPs that you've gotten?
So I went to Indiana State Sanatorium second week of January.
Mhm.
We were downstairs in a tunnel system, just sitting there listening, and we heard footsteps. So me, I'm always like, okay, this is open during a daytime place. Anyone can come. Let me just make sure anyone was there. No one was there, so you get footsteps. A cold brush of wind went past me. So I'd asked, "Was that you who walked past me?" EVP clear as day. Yes, it was.
Oh wow.
Like a man's voice, slow, like stuff like that. A lot of that's probably one of the best Class A EVPs I've gotten. Um, and different answers here and there. Like I can't remember, but that was one of my favorites.
Yeah. Excuse me. We were talking before we came on the air about the house I used to live in. Um, my oldest, she saw a dark figure go from one side of her room to the other side of her room. It was at night, but even though it was dark, she said I could still see that black man. She goes, it went from one corner to the other corner. So, at this time, I'm fresh into the Bigfoot world, and I've got all my equipment. And I told my son, I said, hey, go get my digital recorder. I want to do an EVP. I had never done one before. He's like, okay. So me and my oldest daughter, and then my youngest kid, we're sitting there in the living room. We're talking. We're like in this little this little huddle talking. And then all of a sudden, I see my son coming. He's white as a ghost, and he's coming from the direction of my daughter's room. He's holding up the digital recorder, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, "What did you do?" And he goes, "Dad, you got to hear this. You got to hear this." And he hits play, and he says, "Is there anybody here with us?" and you hear a man's voice clear as they go, "Yeah," just like that. Man,
Oh,
that freaked us out. You
that's
know?
crazy.
Yeah. I was like, "Don't ever play with this shit again in the house." You know?
Right.
Yeah. That was that was the first time I ever got an EVP, so that was pretty cool for me.
Oh, yeah, I love EVP. I love EVPs. The only thing I don't like is, obviously, I try to make my digital recorder sessions no more than like 30 minutes because throwing headphones on and just listening for hours.
Yeah.
So I do my best to kind of keep them short, here, short sessions, so it's not as hard to go through it because it is kind of tedious to just
Yeah,
sit there
it
and hit
is.
play with the headphones and hope you maybe get something.
Yeah. And then, I don't know if you do it, but, like, when I do it, I'll ask a few questions or whatever, and then I'll go back right then and there, and I'll start listening to it again.
I'll do that
Uh,
too. Yeah, I do that
yeah,
too.
and I like doing it that way just because I don't have to come home and sit down. I mean, even though I will, I'll come and put it on my computer and kinda let it play and, see if I hear anything
Yeah.
extra. We went to this place back in October. It's here in Texas. It's called the Bolton House. And yeah, my team is still finding stuff. Just like a month or so ago, one of the girls found a dog barking on her digital recorder. There wasn't a dog in the house.
That's
Yeah, and we sent it to the owner, and she was like, "Oh yeah, people have got that dog before too." So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
that's crazy. I love that stuff.
Mhm. Have you ever done the S test method?
Yes, about a handful of times. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
I'm still new to it.
Mhm.
Um, but the more I do it, I'm getting better at it.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
I've done
tough.
it
It's
too.
tough.
Yeah, yeah. I've done it too, and it just for me that's even more tedious than doing EVPs and listening to it.
Yeah, 'cause
Um,
I really try to focus to hear, filter out what I know would be like catching the radio
right? Yeah,
and what really sounds like an intelligent response. So I'm not just blabbering off words, but it's tough.
yeah, yeah. You're not blabbering off commercials. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
He's going
Or-
deep.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But yeah, I've done it a few times. The some of the girls on the team they like to do it, so I just y'all have at it.
yeah, you have at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what was like one of your best times that you've had as far as
Uh,
like getting activity and stuff?
um, well, I will say we just went to a place called Monroe. They call it the Monroe Demon House up here
Yeah,
in
I've heard of that.
Indiana.
Okay.
So I will say, I, I have been I like to debunk. I like to figure out ways why it's not paranormal because I feel like if more people did that, when you actually get something that's paranormal, it gives it more credit to the type of stuff that you get, right?
Mhm.
So we were doing an essay session, and this has never happened in 10 years of doing this. My buddy was doing the essays, and I was sitting there. We were talking up the second story house, and we were getting that woman who was abused by her husband, who was like the man of the house, wouldn't let her talk, kids and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And when he was saying this stuff, I talk about the wave of emotions that hit me.
Mhm.
I was live on TikTok doing this. I was in tears, almost crying.
Wow.
And I feel like a third eye opened on me. Like I've never had that type of experience
Mhm.
of sitting there, and I almost feel like the mother and the kids were trying to have me feel like what they went through, their
Yeah.
pain. And I've never I'm very skeptic when it comes to that, but I craziest moment of my life investigating was that I felt I got the cold chills, the goosebumps hit me, and I just was like a wave of like I was getting ready to cry like a baby.
Yeah.
It was one of the most eye-opening experiences I've ever been through.
Mhm.
And Monroe, let me tell you what, Monroe, I've seen people go there and not get anything.
Mhm.
I've seen people go there and get a lot. And for me, it didn't disappoint.
Yeah. So
for
what was the
academic.
history of that place?
Uh, there's a so I guess there's history. There's a couple different things that I'm still looking into. Um, a family lived downstairs who I guess his name was John, had tuberculosis. He died from that. A family who lived upstairs who was the husband was abusive. I'm not too sure. I still have to do more research into it. Kind of deep dive. I'm going to cut the essay session, put it out, deep dive in more into history to see if more of the answers, because it seemed like the answers I was getting really was corresponding with what he was shooting out at me.
Mhm.
I still need to rewatch it and deep dive into the history to see if things actually match. But emotions I felt, I've never had that, and I'm not one to fake that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
You can ask. There's plenty of people in the chat who, like
Right.
Amy
Yeah.
and all them who've been around me. Like I'm not one to just. First of all, I can't make myself cry unless I'm
Yeah.
watching unless I'm watching Homer Bound or some weird goofy sad kid movie, right? But no,
Yeah.
so it didn't disappoint,
Mhm.
and that's coming off of like the last 5 places I went to. It seemed like I've got nothing.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it was definitely eye opening.
Do they have like 'cause I know like some locations don't have like a binder of like the history of the place so you can go back and kind of flip through it. Um,
Binder. I'm not sure. I don't
yeah.
know if Jamie is still here in chat. She was with me that night.
Yeah. She said she wasn't taking
She
anything.
would. I don't know if they had a binder. I know they did have a picture of the place because
Okay.
they had a psychic come in there and do some type of reading.
Mhm.
Um, and I can't remember what it said. She showed me the other day about it. She would know. Hopefully, she can see this and type out real quick what it said. We gave it a
Yeah.
little bit of a history of what happens. Like I said, I'm not too sure. I got to do more research on it.
Mm. Yeah. So I hate to keep talking about my crazy crap, but when we went to that Bolton house, the lady had a binder there, and it was a thick binder, and they were doing the Estes method, and they were asking, "Who were you talking to?" Like who are we talking to? And the girl who had the blindfold and the headphones on was saying eight. Okay, and like, well, who are you? Eight. We were like, what the hell, because they were
What is
asking
eight?
questions. Yeah, yeah. What is eight? So as they're doing that, I run downstairs to the bindery. I mean, to the binder. I'm in printing, so I say binder. So I walk down to the binder and I'm flipping through it. I'm trying to find a history of the Bolton family. Well, turns out they had eight kids. So that was pretty cool. So maybe they were talking to the number eight, the eight kid.
And that makes it so awesome when you go back and do
Yeah.
research and find out that answers you got actually match for a reason.
Right. Yeah. No, they don't have any binder. She said. Yeah.
I know
So
she sent me a photo of something with a psychic went in there and did something, got some kind of reading. I can't remember what it was about though.
yeah, yeah. We have so, who do you have on your team? Like, do you have is it more than a couple people with you guys, or are you solo?
So I'm solo, but I go with a bunch. Like Jamie's one person
Mhm.
who we go places together. I have a bunch of different people I collab with.
Mhm.
So like me personally, it's just me,
Yeah.
and I just go around with a bunch of different people.
Mhm. Have you ever gone anywhere by yourself?
Nope.
No. Okay. Mm.
Nope. I did at Blackford County Jail. I was there by myself for like an hour and a half.
Mhm.
First time ever. I'm too much of a baby. I'm not gonna lie. No,
Yeah. Did you get any activity when you were by yourself, or?
no. Blackford was kind of quiet that night. I was kind of hoping that and just sitting quiet, listening.
Mhm.
Like nothing really happened, but I'm trying to get over that fear by myself stuff. But
Yeah.
baby steps.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. And what about like outdoors? Have you ever done anything out other than like cemeteries? Have you ever gone out to some woods or forested area and try to do anything there?
Mm-mm, not yet.
You, you guys really should. I really recommend that um, because doing the Bigfoot stuff, um, I think there's a lot more paranormal stuff that goes on in the woods than what people really think, and in the
Mhm.
forest. Um, that gets written off as Bigfoot. Well, I've heard, people will say, I heard voices. I think that's Bigfoot talking. I've heard footsteps. I think that's probably a Bigfoot or something even got thrown at me. I think it was a Bigfoot. And even though Bigfoot does that stuff, I still think that a lot of that stuff could be paranormal. Um, I'm in the flesh and blood camp when it comes to Bigfoot. I don't think Bigfoot's anything paranormal or supernatural or anything like that. But I've had so many people who've like set out digital recorders and have picked up voices, like people talking, you know. Um, I had a friend of mine named Sean. He was actually setting his recorder out and he heard in his ear someone go, "Psst," just like that, you know. Uh, People see orbs in the forest all the time. Um, and I think that's more paranormal than it is anything else. So you should probably go check that out. Even
Yeah, there's a place back home. So it's called Cooch's Bridge. It was literally the only battle in the Revolutionary War that happened in Delaware. It's outside, creek, woods, open field.
Mhm,
Um, I want to get out there and just at nighttime one night when it's not 10 degrees outside and I'm back home. Just walk, digital recorder. I'm not trying to take a bunch of the, like
yeah,
normal devices.
yeah,
That and a digital recorder, walk around and to see if I can get anything because it said obviously there was a lot of death. You know,
yeah,
British won that battle before they went up and marched up to Philly and took Philadelphia. It was the only battle that happened in Delaware for the Revolutionary War. So it'd be interesting to. And there's an old mansion that's like right across the street from it too. That's all part of the whole area. If
mhm,
I wanted to go talk to them to see if they would even do like investigating the house, and then walk the woods and do that stuff at some point. I've always wanted to.
yeah. Yeah, see, Jamie says right here, state parks with ruins or battlegrounds are good places to investigate. Um, and then Amy says it too that for sure, and unmarked graves from centuries ago. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And a lot of these forests, you never know what happened. 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 200 years ago.
There are a lot of deaths that no one,
Yeah.
like honestly, no one knows about.
So like where I do my research, my Bigfoot stuff, it's in the Sam Houston forest where there used to be iron ore there and iron ore mines, and people had their own little claims. And this was back in the time where people didn't fool around with you jumping their claim or getting too near their area. I'm sure a lot of stuff probably happened out there, and the Native Americans. There was a tribe out there, so all kinds of stuff probably happened out there.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a lot of what goes on in the forest. Like I said, is probably a lot more paranormal stuff than actually Bigfoot stuff. Uh,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, when I get a chance, I'm definitely doing that place back home.
yeah,
We'll see what happens. Hopefully something.
yeah. I bet you get some activity that people just don't
Whatever,
get. Yeah,
whatever you think about, because they're
yeah,
not thinking about stopping
yeah,
or even thinking about like, hey, it's an old Civil War battle. I mean, an old Revolutionary War battle. So obviously there's deaths there
yeah.
that were violent in ways because obviously,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
war. So you don't know what you can get.
Mhm. I had a fan of the show send me in a video from the Sam Houston forest again. He's going down one of the back roads in the middle of the forest, and as he's driving, there's this orb that comes up alongside of his truck. Yeah, and it freaked him out really bad that he actually pulled over and he said the Lord's Prayer.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
He said,
yeah,
"Not today, baby. You're not getting
yeah,
me today."
yeah. But yeah, man, I've got that on video. I need to put it up on video one day, let you guys see it. He told me I could share it. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's
Like I said,
cool.
I think there's a lot more that goes on outside than people realize.
Yeah, there's a lot more to the outside places, paranormal that I think we're only scratching the surface.
Yeah, yeah. I think if you find you a hot spot like that, nobody else knows about it. Shoot, I'd be hitting that spot all the time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wish I'm not like I said, I'm not from around here, so I don't know like anything other than the places that you got to pay to go to.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
got to really start trying to dig to see like the old abandoned places that no one knows about or no one goes to,
yeah,
just to find out what you can get. Maybe you get nothing. Maybe you
yeah.
get some of the best activity of your life because not a lot of people are going there, so it's not sucking the energy dry, spirits energy dry.
Well, like Jamie said, man, find a state park. See if there were battles fought there,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
go by yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning.
yeah. In the summertime though, when it's not 10 degrees.
Yeah, that would have 10 degrees out there. Yeah,
Yeah, way too cold.
Yeah. And so, what does your family and friends in your little circle think about all this stuff?
I mean, they ask me how it goes. Some of them are interested in. I had one friend say I invited him to like my Facebook page when I made it. He
Mhm.
was like, "I love you, but not touching it." So
Yeah,
it's hit or miss.
yeah,
Some people, I by doing it, I've learned that some of my friends are actually into it when I didn't know. So it's been
right.
good.
Yeah.
My dad loves watching ghost hunters.
Okay.
So
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
yeah.
surprised my mom's not on here right now. She must not know that I have a show tonight. But yeah, usually she's in here commenting. And what does Amy say? She says, "If only you had a local history loving friend."
Yeah, she knows a lot. She's from around here, so she knows a lot of history of the places.
Yeah. Help them out, Amy. Um, yeah. Are you surprised or when like certain people call you up and like, "Hey, this happened to me," or "I know a friend that had this happen to them," or are you that guy now?
Yeah, no, yeah, they call me now, ask me what they think, show me if they have videos, show me stuff. So
Yeah.
no, it's cool. And no, like I said, and I'm still growing, and I'm still trying to learn, and so like I said, I love this. I love this field.
Yeah. I had a cousin. She sent me this video, and she goes, "Hey, I want you to check this out." She goes, "There's this big glowing ball moving across my backyard. We got it on camera." And she goes, "Me and the girls, her two girls, we saw it. We were freaking out." So she sends it to me, right? And there's a picture of her backyard or a video of her backyard and this blue like orb going across, right? And I get on my laptop and I'm looking at it, and around the edges I see this, you know,
Was it
on the edge there's a bug on the lens.
bug?
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
was still cool that we don't talk a lot that she sent me that.
yeah. I have a friend who actually, when a coworker sent me a video, um, from her. I guess it was her sister's house, and they have one of those motion sensor cameras, like security cameras. She sends me this video. It's like, look at this, and it's literally like the back of her house. Motion light comes on, in the back window, you just see this shadow figure, like this speed, like just go across the window like this,
Yeah,
and the window right next to it, like the other window that goes right, like a little bit, maybe this far the next window,
yeah.
nothing.
Hmm.
Crazy. It was crazy shadow figure.
Huh.
So I get stuff like that now because they know I'm into this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. But I love it. It's fun, you know, being that guy. I've had I got like Bigfoot stickers on my truck. I've had people stop me, ask me about, "Hey, are you into Bigfoot?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, they'll tell me a story that either they had or one of their friends told them about.
I
It's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy it. It's a crazy field, but I love it.
wish we could find Bigfoot. Be cool to
Yeah,
see it in person.
yeah. You're in a good state, man. I'm telling you, man. You
I gotta
good.
go. I gotta find the woods.
Yeah, you gotta find your. I forgot where my one of my friends that's in Indiana. She was at one of the state parks when she had her sighting.
Oh yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, you probably
that's
kill two
great.
birds with one stone. You can do some Bigfoot stuff and paranormal
And
stuff.
paranormal investigating.
Yeah, there
Yep.
you go. Mm. You
Uh,
know, who mentioned the so Amy said, about the unmarked graves from centuries ago. I'm gonna tell you a story that I rarely tell. Um, Several years ago, and I bet this is closer to 15 years ago. I used to work uh, with a bunch of young kids. They were like in their 18, 19 years old, and they knew I was into all this stuff, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go out to this place. We're gonna go look for the. It was a Civil War cemetery. We're gonna go find it. They say it's haunted." They were like, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like the old man of the group. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go with you guys." So there's like 7 or 8 of us. We all go, and man, we had to walk through this field over some railroad tracks. We get to this clearing, right?
mhm.
It's a pretty big clearing. I'd say maybe 50 yards, right by 50 yards. We walk through it. We get to the wood line. We walk in there, and we get into the woods, and there's like all these tarps and sticks, and it smells really bad. And we're like, "Holy shit!" We came across like a homeless camp, right? And I tell the kids, I say, you know what, we got to get out of here because if these guys come back, we're here, they're not going to be happy. It was big. I mean, it probably fit 20, 30 people. And I told them, I said, if they come back and we're here, they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
We're walking back out of the woods. When we get to that clearing again, it is foggy. It's maybe about shin deep, right, in fog. And all of a sudden, we start seeing all the headstones, that we didn't see when we walked in. That was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
Did you go up
Uh,
there and like check them out?
oh yeah, they were old. Yeah, they were from back in the Civil War. As a matter of fact, I think that was like for the black soldiers who fought in the Civil War.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that was crazy. That was probably the
Crazy
craziest thing I've
fun.
ever experienced. Yeah, we didn't see it going in, but we saw it going out in in,
Yeah,
in the fog.
that's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, and it almost felt like we had walked into like a different, I don't know, time or something.
You see the fog walking in too, or no?
No, no, there was no fog on the way in.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like makes you think like did they get the fog to come out to get your attention to come check it out?
yeah, yeah. It was definitely one of like a Scooby Doo moment for us. Yeah,
That's
but
pretty.
yeah, but it was pretty cool. And we had talked about going back there again, but we never did. I don't know if I can find it now. It's been so long.
Probably so many of them type of like cemeteries that you just don't know about.
Mhm,
You
yeah,
know, nature's taken back over. People forget about. There's probably
yeah,
so many of them.
yeah. I bet there is. Yeah. So what's on your bucket list? What's coming up for you?
So I got some big ones coming up this year. Ohio State Reformatory, the big jail out there in Ohio. Waverly,
Mhm.
I'm going there in May. Going to Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in September, and I'm going to Fort. Oh my gosh, a fort in Pennsylvania. I can't remember the name right now. Oh my god, it's out in Pennsylvania. It's out right outside east of Philadelphia.
Hmm.
I'm having a big brain fart on the name of it right now. I'm sorry.
That's all.
Um, and then a lot of different places like around here too. So you know, right now I got like every weekend it's just different places,
Mhm.
small, big, packed.
Yeah. And what do you have like on your bucket list for the future? What are some places you want to go?
Well, some of those like Trans Allegheny has always been a bucket list. So I'm happy and Waverly, so I'm glad I get to check them off. Um, that there's a lighthouse. Why am I can't think of any names right now. Um, the lighthouse in Florida that ghost hunters went to.
Oh, I remember that episode. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It starts with an S. I can't remember the name. Um, really, besides those big ones, like just Alcatraz,
Oh
be cool
yeah.
to get out there.
Mhm.
Um, I've talked to some people about maybe trying to get out there. Um, Salem,
Oh yeah.
I always wanted to get up there for the paranormal. St. Augustine, there you go. Say that's my friend Jamie. Here we go. St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, that's
Thank
on
you,
the
Jamie.
list. Like I said, Salem was on the list, and just googling major haunted places really. But those are some of the places I really want to get to.
Mhm. So you
I
need to
do want
make
to
a
get out to Nevada too. Like I know there's some places out there.
yeah. Yeah, you should come out here to Texas one day too, man. Or
Oh
we
yeah,
got
you got send me a list of some places out there. What I had to definitely put on the list to get down there.
yeah, man, we got quite a few places down here. And then places that nobody knows about, like the Bolton House. It's a fairly new location. Maybe it was
Yeah.
a year and a half, year old already, but nobody knows about it still, and it's a great place to go check out. We got Jefferson, Texas. We've also got Mineral Wells, Texas, which is the haunted Hill House. Uh, we
Yeah,
got
man. Yeah, definitely send me a list for
yeah,
Texas,
man.
and I'll definitely check them out and see. Mark,
Galveston,
get them on the
yeah,
calendar.
yeah, Galveston is haunted. There's places between here and San Antonio. A lot of battles took place there, and people like to go and check out. Yeah, man, we got quite a few places here.
Yeah, I was down in San Antonio for that's actually where my school was when I first joined the Navy in 2004.
Mhm.
Lackland Air Force Base.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I've,
was
I've
down
been
there.
there. Yeah.
San Antonio's the Riverwalk, man, that place is nice.
There's a lot of history in that whole area. Yeah.
So, that's a good
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. I've actually been on Lackland and I've been to Randolph Air. Well, I used to live out near there. I
Mhm.
don't know if you know where Randolph Air Force Base is at, but I live like, man, a mile away from there. And
Okay.
we used to be able to hear Reveille every morning and the national anthem and the jets coming in,
Yep.
all the time. Yeah. It's a big military town, as you probably know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it out there. I kind of still want to move out there someday, but had to come back home. Um, and when I lived out there, this was like in 2017. I lived there from 2017 to 2019. During that time, I was kind of going through a rough time, and I always felt like my dad was around. And one day, my youngest was downstairs, and he was washing some clothes, and um, I leaned over the side and I said, "Hey, wash these pants for me," right? So I threw these pants down to him, and right next to me, next to the wall, there was a light switch, and I heard it flick on, and the light came on, right? And I just knew it was my dad. I don't know why. That's just what I felt. I really can't explain it.
Yeah.
So I moved back here to Houston in 2019, and I was at my mom's house, and I was telling her about that. And I was sitting in the kitchen, and there's like a bar that separates the kitchen from the dining room.
Mhm.
And she's leaning on the bar, and she's listening to my story. And when I told her that, the light switch in the kitchen flicked on, and the light came on. Yeah. So yeah, so we both witnessed that. So that was pretty cool. That
That's
as
really
I,
cool.
as I told her that story, that came on. And
Hey,
so
man,
yeah,
stories like that are awesome, man, having stories like that.
yeah, mhm. Yeah. And my dad one time, this is about 3 years ago now. My mom had a party, and there was a bunch of us at my mom's house, and this was on a Sunday, and that Monday, my brother and my uncle were supposed to go to my dad's cemetery and go visit him. Uh, I knew it rained real hard that day, so I called my brother on that Tuesday. I was like, "Hey, did you guys wind up going out there yesterday?" He's like, "No, it rained real bad." And I said, "Yeah, I kind of figured that." He said, "But I want to tell you what happened." And he says, Maddie, which is my niece, he goes, she heard Grandpa's voice at the party and was like, she said that that Grandpa was telling her that she was proud of us for giving Grandma the party, that Grandma deserved it, and that what was the other one? That she was proud of us for having a party. Grandma deserved it. I forgot what the third thing is, but I was like, okay, well that's cool, man. And I really didn't put too much thought in it. He goes, yeah, but Uncle James said that Aunt Patty heard Dad's voice there. And Uncle James was my dad's twin brother. He's like he and his wife is my Aunt Patty. He goes, Aunt Patty heard Grandpa's voice there, and he told Aunt Patty that he was glad Grandma had the party. She deserved it, and that when her time comes, he'd be there for her. Now, my aunt and my niece, neither one of them had knew that the other one had heard the same message, basically.
Man,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
that's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. So yeah, but my dad, he's made his rounds, around the
That's
family.
that's like I said, that like, stories like that, they're always awesome to have.
Hmm. Yeah. So, what do you think happens when a person passes on from this world? What do you think happens?
Well, I mean, I hope I'm right about, you pass and, you go to heaven and you get reconnected with your loved ones who have already passed.
Hmm.
Um, you know, that is the one sad part about the paranormal field is so many spirits are like here,
Hmm.
and you don't really know why. Like, but I believe you pass on the next life. Uh, I guess we don't really know. None of us really ever will ever know until that time comes.
Right? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so, I mean, I hope it's that way. I hope I peacefully pass on one day, and my loved ones that are in heaven are waiting for me, and go on to live that next blissful life of peace and happiness. And you know,
Yeah. And you know, I don't know why some spirits get stuck here, or they don't leave. I don't know if it's because they don't want to, or I mean, I just don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, or why do you think spirits hang around?
I definitely think some of it's maybe unfinished business.
Mhm.
Um, I think the way you pass may cause it, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there's a doorway between heaven and earth that if you want to come down and let your family know that you're okay and they love that you're loved and you're at peace,
Yeah.
maybe that's a thing. Like honestly, it could. There's so many different things it could be. I'm not sure. Yeah, John, right? Like trauma. I think the way you pass, like I said, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
could be a way. It's tough, but when you go to places and like you get the little kids that come through, it
Right.
just makes you wonder like, why would cause a little kid to still be here? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tough question that like I said, we'll never have answers until it's that time,
Yeah.
really. But it really does make you think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why spirits would stick around it, but I think some of that is true. What you're saying is, maybe unfinished business. Maybe it was just something that very traumatic. Maybe they don't know that they're dead. I don't know. You know.
Like I said too, like maybe there is a doorway.
Yeah. They don't want to
And,
go through it for whatever reason. And,
yeah,
um.
maybe there's a
But
doorway where you can go back and forth. Like I said, who's gonna know? Like,
yeah.
maybe your family's sad or something's going on, and you want them to know that you're okay, and
Yeah.
you're able to go back and forth between between heaven and earth and
Yeah.
communicate. Who knows? Like I said,
Yeah.
no one's ever gonna really know until that time comes.
Yeah.
Which
And
hopefully
that's
for
what.
either one of us is not anytime soon.
Yeah. And that's what I think my dad did. I think he knew I was going through a rough time, and he came and kind of let me know. And I don't know, but like I there's nothing I can explain. But I just always knew when he was around. He never had to say anything or really do anything. I just felt him. Um,
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things like family members know the pain that you're going through, and instead of crossing over, they wait to let you know that you're like it's okay. They're
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
It's going to be okay.
mhm. And
And
John,
maybe they people don't cross over, and so they can let their family know that.
mhm,
Um, but like I said, I always hope that we just cross over and we're in peace and we're happy, and the next life is there waiting for us. Like I hope when I pass that all my grandkids, I mean not my grandkids, grandparents, parents one day, sisters, family, are all whoever goes before me are all waiting there, welcome me there, welcome me to the kingdom. So
yeah,
that's what I hope anyway.
yeah, yeah. And John says, I'm not sure kid spirits are really kid spirits. Evil spirits can mimic. I don't know, John. I think that you can say that for any spirit. I think you know s- there are mimics that can mimic other people because I certainly have heard that. Um, I don't know. Maybe it is more prevalent among kids. I mean, I don't know. I just
I'm
don't know
not.
about that. Yeah.
It's tough. Like I
Mm.
said, it's just like I said, no one's wrong on how they feel,
Yeah.
but because no one, like I said, because since no one really knows,
Yeah.
so it's definitely an interesting thought topic though to think
Yeah.
about.
What are your thoughts on the Ouija board? People, going on paranormal big investigations and messing around with the Ouija board.
I don't know. A lot of people believe in them. I won't touch it, but then again, like I don't know how much I really believe in it.
Mhm.
But then I also won't touch it because I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
is it a portal to open up to communicate?
Mhm.
What's coming out of that portal? I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it or find out. So
Yeah.
I mean, but I also remember doing it as a kid, like as a kid, like, oh, let's go play with the Ouija board. Woo, what's your name? Like, so I don't know. I'm not one to mess with them really. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
is it a portal to communicate? Maybe
Yeah.
people believe it. I'm not going to say they're wrong.
Yeah. And you know what? And maybe that's more of what the issue is. If you're believing it, so you're giving that board power. or you're giving the spirit, whatever spirit comes through, power because you believe in that board. I don't
Yeah.
know. You know.
And even what if you're opening a portal to an evil entity?
Mhm.
Demons, like, I'm not super religious, but I believe in all that, but, I'm also the fab that you can't well, for me personally, anyone can believe what they want, but I don't think you can believe in heaven and hell and angels and then not believe in the devil and demons, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
to me,
Yeah.
you can't believe in one without having the other because it's all one,
Yeah.
and but I do think that the demon word does get thrown out way too often when it could just be uh, maleficent spirit, like an evil spirit, angry spirit. Um, I definitely think demon gets thrown out way too fast,
Yeah. Um,
more than it should,
yeah.
and a lot of that's for TV shows and ratings, clicks,
Yeah.
and to me, I'm not one. I'm not clicking it. Like I'm not gonna make shit up
Yeah.
for clicks.
Yeah.
Nothing against anyone who wants to, but it just
Yeah.
does more damage to the field in general to be taken serious when someone's always like, "Oh, demon, demon, demon."
Yeah. And John says, "Well, I won't use it. Well, I won't use one. It could be said that spirit boxes are no different if you're communicating with spirits." Yeah, and that's kind of the line of thinking that I have too. You're using a pendulum. You're using whatever. You just don't know what can come through. Um, and like you were saying too, not everything is demonic. Not everything is evil. Like I was telling you about my cousin when he got grabbed. I don't think that was an evil intention. I just think it was the spirit saying, "Hey, don't mess with my house."
Or I mean, it could be a good spirit who doesn't know, and they're just trying to get his attention by like, "Hey, I'm here."
Right.
But then, like, say that happened to someone who wants to blow up. Oh, a demon! Look, like not saying he is,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like
Yeah.
someone could on like a TV show and say, "Oh, see, I'm being demons grabbing me."
Yeah.
Like,
And that goes for the scratches too, right?
yeah,
Um, what if a spirit doesn't know its own strength or doesn't know it can do that or um, you know, loses its I don't know, maybe it can lose the focus and use too much, force or too much aggressive, you know. It's
uh,
a little bit too on the aggressive side and trying to get your attention and it scratches you and all of a sudden it's demonic, you know. I
yeah,
just
because it
yeah.
has the 3 scratches. I'm like, "Yo, not every 3 with 3 scratches." Like,
Yeah, yeah,
a demon, like, it's not always a demon, people. It's
yeah,
okay. You don't have to be demons all over the place. Not saying they're not there, but not every time something bad happens, has to be an evil entity,
mhm,
evil spirit, demonic. It could
yeah,
be a ghost, a spirit who's just trying to get your attention and doesn't know what they're doing.
yeah. Doesn't know its
You know?
own strength, It's the
Yep.
same thing with like people who get sick, right? And I've talked to people who've gotten sick and the first thing they say a demon was trying to possess their body. Well, maybe the, the spirit was trying to use some of your energy and use too much of it.
Yep.
You know, no, I
Yep.
mean, I don't, I'm not saying that, it doesn't happen. I'm pretty sure it does happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not doing around going to. I mean, they're not going around doing exorcisms of the Catholic Church for shits and giggles. Like, obviously, at some point, some of that stuff has to be real, right? It can't
Right?
all
Yeah.
be fake.
Yeah.
Um, so I just don't think it's. Like I said, the field's so the paranormal field has blossomed so much,
Hmm.
and I do think social media and clicks and ratings does, I think, make skeptic people more skeptic because if something's always going on, how real is it?
Yeah.
And even for the TV shows, like I don't think people realize these TV shows, the big ones, they go to spots for days and their 45-minute TV show where it looks like they're getting stuff is them cutting stuff out from 4 days to make it look like all one night when
Yeah.
I don't know, like, would I love to be famous? I mean, a TV show, yeah, but am I gonna make it look fake, get clicks and ratings? No, not gonna it doesn't help the field.
Yeah.
It doesn't help the field in general grow when people are on TikTok and everything is something and everything is this and everything is that. Because you see them. I mean, I don't know you, I see them out there. some people never shut up about stupid crap. And I'm like, it just makes the field look bad. We're trying to grow the field and have people take it serious. And because it's paranormal, like, there's always going to be skeptics, but in order to prove them wrong, you can't have everyone and their mom being like this and that all the time.
Yeah.
And I wish as a community, people would call that out more so you get rid of the frauds. And not
Yeah.
everyone, not saying people are, I don't know any, I'm not calling anyone out, but everyone sees it.
Mhm.
Everyone knows it's there. You know, we want to grow our field. If someone was going into the Bigfoot field and all of a sudden they go every forest and woods they go to is big, they see Bigfoot. It
Yeah.
takes away the credibility
Yeah.
from actual Bigfoot stuff. So,
Red circles everywhere. Yeah.
or, everything's a UFO, everything is this. Like, no, not everything can be that as much as you want it to be. Like, we want people to take our field serious, and some of the people who are over the top just make us look bad.
Yes, sir. Well, dude, we're ready coming up at the end of the show, man. An hour went by super quick.
I had a great time.
Yeah, man, me too, man. You want to give people some information where they can find you, some social
Yeah,
media,
yeah.
email, whatever you want.
I'm new and I'm growing. If anyone wants to check me out, I have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and it's all Dynasty Paranormal. Perfectly, TikTok and YouTube are my two big ones I'm trying to grow right now. But Dynasty
Well,
Paranormal, if you want to come check me out, I loved your show. Had a great time. I could talk this stuff all night, man. If you
yeah,
whenever you want to have me back, I will come back and talk more.
cool. Yeah, for sure, dude. For everybody else, if you guys haven't seen him on TikTok, go to his page, man. You guys, you'll enjoy it. He has some great content. He's one of the best out there as far as I'm concerned. And yeah,
Thank you.
go give him a follow, man. You'll have a great time. And with all that being said, guys, thanks a lot for participating in the chat. I appreciate that. Um, you guys did great as always. And I have a show next Monday. I don't know who I have. I never know who I have on. So tune in next Monday, guys. And again, thanks a lot for joining and participating. And I will see
Thank
you
you.
guys next
Thank
Monday.
you again
Hold
for
on.
having me. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Hold on real quick.